Hello, everyone. I'm inviting everyone to a special event that is taking place on the 12th of September at the church premises. And that day, I'm going to launch my debut novel called When the Hearts of Men Are Decadently Wicked. It's going to be a charity event in that the proceed that comes from the sales of the book is going straight back to the ministry, and is a means of saying thank you to the ministry for having me, and also a means of supporting the progress of the ministry. Please come massively and support me that day. It's going to be on the 12th of September. Come one, come all. Thank you so much.
Make room for two, you and I, Jesus. You are all that matters. You are all that matters.
I want to throw more light on this book. It's a story that actually unfolded in a village called Azure. Azure is located in the old Kano state in the northern part of Nigeria. In that place, you have a lot of farmers. Most people engage in farming activities, and sometimes they produce their cash crops in so much quantities that they export them outside their village to sell. And there's not much rainfall in this part of the country. Now, Michael lived in such place with his wife called Rose. And Rose had three children from Michael: Jude, Paul, and Jenny. Now, Michael, being the only son from his parents, and he came from impoverished, or rather poverty-stricken family, needed Rose to assist him to acquire some number of houses, both for rental purposes and also for their family use. And Rose would not comply with his demand of handing him all that she earned every month. Michael treaded carefully on Rose's nature by subjecting her to series of inhumane treatments, and sometimes threatened her with divorce in order to suppress her into complying with his demands. And finally, they acquired a number of houses, both for rental purposes and also for their family use. When Michael realized that he had now became a rich man overnight, he demanded for more kids.
What would have become of me if I didn't see your light? What would have been said of me if you didn't hold my hand? Now I've come to realize that you are all I have. You are all that matters. I'll put you in front of.
And along the line, he married. He went into a pagan family and married a woman called Nkonta. Yeah, Nkonta came from a pagan family. In fact, Michael never knew how much power that woman possessed. She was born and initiated to so many deities, and she came prepared. She had her ojemba, which was a tortoise on which she sits while she cooks for her husband. She was so calculating and as wise as a serpent, because she took her time to put her device in her husband's house. Actually, Michael never knew that he was getting married to a shrine herself, a witch. And with that power, she was able to monitor Michael and monitor the situation in Michael's family and know when to strike. And Konta, being a woman with so much power and possessed by series of deities, first casted a spell on Michael in order to control his mind and his thoughts and to channel all his affections to her alone and her unborn kids.
Can you lift up your hands and begin to speak in other tongues tonight? I wish you can say things, mystical things to God tonight. Tell him that is all that matters to you. Tell him that silver or gold cannot take his place.
She saw him asleep with his mouth wide open and he was snoring heavily. She cut some strands of his hair and went inside to put a spell upon them, saying that as from that moment, she would be controlling his thoughts and actions in the family. Whatever she said, he would do, and there was no two ways around it. She then put a spell on Michael, who was still snoring. As from today, Michael, she said, let it be a taboo that you will agree to pay Jane's school fees. I mean that you have to reject every plea for school fees from Jane. When she finished, she burnt the hair and cast her own spell on Michael to always love her and be ready to solve all her problems, even if he did not have any means of doing just that. When she finished, she went to her room to sleep. And she was so determined to destroy the relationship between Michael and Rose and to get everything to herself. She was so calculating, and she took her time to plan her device, her means of eradicating Rose with her kids. Michael never knew or even thought that he was actually in for a bigger trouble. He never knew that he was getting married to a deity herself, because she had all those powers bestowed on her by so much deities and shrines and marine powers. That was what she had. Michael was an easy catch for Nkonta because the powers she got was more than what Michael had. And secondly, Michael was so dubious. That was why the force of the spell was so much heavy on him that all his thoughts were entwined by this spell. All he was thinking was the means of eradicating, of killing, of destroying, or even if he would have got the chance, use any one of them for sacrifice. So, with the help of Nkonta, Michael subjected his first family to series of inconceivable cruelties. Now, this spell casted on Michael was taking toll on him. He abused, he accused, and subjected Rose with her children to series of inconceivable cruelties. He accused Paul of leaving school because he was a good-for-nothing son, and now he could not even do anything meaningful with his life. Rose approached Michael and asked him why he did not even want to listen to them, as they were the victims of this woman's atrocious lies. Well, he gasped. What do you expect? He asked her. When you do not tell your husband the truth either, you are trying to tell me that another person is a liar and not you. He went on to say that anything Nkonta has just said had been witnessed by him even before Nkonta came into this family. Maybe because you did not support the marriage. That was why you are now calling her a liar and want me to support and believe you? What truth did I not tell you? Rose was so baffled to hear that she had now become a typical liar. What have I hidden from you ever since we married? You see, the thing was having an effect, twisting his mind. He was just thinking of the way to waste them. Nothing about them concerns him anymore. So because the spell casted on him was taking a large a large toll on his thoughts. All he could think of was a means of eradicating Rose and her children. And he started visiting witch doctors, witchcraft doctors that advised him on what to do and how to fortify himself in the process.
All that was. Yeah. Ay, 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 ay.
Now, all Michael wanted was means of having his way to eradicate Rose and her children. Because each time he tried, he would be faced with a wall of fire, something that prevents him from having his way. So he went ahead to a witch doctor to seek for help. And listen to what the doctor said. He spent most of his energy, resources, and strength in finding means to destroy Rose and the kids, since none of them called him or even asked how he was doing. He went to the old man every other day to inquire about Rose and the children. Then one day, the old man told him that all he needed was the life of an unborn baby, so that he would empower him all the more. He would be able to hear and see visions just as he did. Michael did not know how to get the life of an unborn baby. He knew that Nkonta was expecting soon, and he needed the baby to be born more than anything, and had been wishing it would be a boy. All these thoughts were circling in his head as he listened to the old witch. So he did not even realize that the man had gone out of the room to relieve himself. When he came back, Michael was still gazing into the empty space. Michael! Michael! Mike! He jerked like someone stung by the black ant. He said, Nani, that means our father. You see, the issue to do with the unborn baby is not possible, as you know that my wife is due next month, and I cannot afford to make her lose that baby. I cannot sacrifice that child for anything else. You are a fool. You need power, but you cannot afford to take risks. Tell me, what do you think you can get from Rose and the children if you do not waste blood for that? Do you think you can just go and attack them without first fortifying yourself with blood covenants? The Igbo adage said, he that pursues a chick gets the reward of falling down, probably getting injured in the process, while the chick wins the award of the marathon race. This woman called Rose always has a wall of fire that protects her and the family each time. She seems untouchable. With the blood covenant, we will break the barrier by making her be accused unnecessarily by people around her. Her children will be surrounded with the affliction of gossips. By doing all these, we will make them get angry so quickly at any slightest provocation. They will then lose the protection, and then we will strike them and get them. You need the empowerment so that you will not be frequenting my house as someone that frequents the stream. That was the advice given to him from the old witch. It was only people that has the inner eyes that could see the protection that Rose and her children had. Michael never knew, because he has been trying in vain to strike and to destroy. He couldn't get them until the old witch told him there is a barrier wall of fire barricading them. Do you think that Rose and her kids were destroyed by Michael and Nkonta's incessant heinous crimes? Or do you think that fate actually caught up with Michael and Nkonta? It was not easy to kill a Rose because she was a Christian. Michael and Nkonta involved themselves in series of sacrifices and covenants in order to do that. Do you think they were able to strike? Grab the copy and find out by yourself. Thank you so much for watching me, and once again I invite you for my deep lunch.
If it matters to you tonight, can you lift up those hands and speak in other tongues? and blast in other tongues as you worship the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the one who made all things new, the one who made it possible for us to be here today. Jesus. Can you lift up your hands and begin to speak in other tongues tonight? I wish you can say things, mystical things to God tonight. Tell him that is all that matters to you. Tell him that silver or gold cannot take his place. Tell him sweet things tonight. I thank God for those who are worshiping. Open up your mouth to Jesus. Open up your mouth and lift up your voice. I want to hear people tonight who are ready to take the name of Jesus. As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. No matter what men bring to me. Oh, Shalabayonanos. Shalamayanama, Shalamayanama. Sibring Kroving Rigindring Mano Sembre and Tonkandiana. Oh, can we begin to have koinonia tonight? Can we begin to have koinonia tonight? Can I hear people tonight who want to speak mysteries? I'll make room for two. The power of God is so heavy in this place. The spirit of the prophetic. Now begin to talk to God. Now begin to tell him what you need. Open up your mouth and let him fill you. Out of the belly, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living waters. Can you open up your mouth tonight? What will I live for if I don't have you in my life? What will I give if you take the Holy Ghost? Can you lavish your worship tonight? We didn't come to get familiar with Jesus. We came to love on him tonight. You are all that matters. Everybody sing it. Oh, oh. You are all that matters. Jesus. Holy Ghost. Sing it from your heart now. You are all. 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 Chananya ja ja tiki tiki pa tukupu tiki tiki pato koto tade. Betukumenyanya na pata kumeneno. Sete kepetonga, esete paloko, epelondiba dima na masitata. Hey, they will bring their houses, they will bring their money. I don't want, all I want is Jesus. All I want is the Holy Ghost. All I want is this kingdom. Be made manifest on the earth. Put you in front of my destiny. You are all that matters. Oh, I'll make room for two. You and I, Jesus. You are all that matters. Hey.